Tip Tuesday. This month, our friends at DocuSketch are sponsoring the entire series around our technical tips. My special guest this week and next week is Todd Sanjid. He is the Enterprise Solution Consultant at DocuSketch. Welcome back, Todd.
Thanks for having me again.
Yes, again, right? Geez, fancy meeting you here. So last week we talked about the initial inspection and the walkthrough and things that are missed and how we can fix it. This week, let's just really focus on something that I think is crucial to documentation, and that is the process, right? We have to have a process. So what, in your opinion, is the best process for restorers to use on every single job documentation wise, no matter the loss? Obviously, there's going to be differences, but I think you have a five-step process that works really well across all the things that we do, right?
Yes, yes, ma'am. Yeah, and I've sort of implemented and adjusted it over the years based on listening to the restorers out there and figuring out what would be the best. And being a former baseball player and coach, I have a routine. I always had a routine for everything. And I learned early on from somebody much smarter than me that you should have a routine every time you walk into a loss site. Very similar, you should have a routine every time before you get in the batter's box, right? So your warm up, your pre-pitch routine, everything should always be the same. So I believe in a five-step process, right? And staying consistent with it. Number one, walk it with the owner. Number two, ask for some time to document. Number three, you document it with the 360 capture. Number four, you set clear expectations with the homeowner. And five, you do your final walk and set everything up for the work to commence. Right? When you get into the home, a lot of times, most of the time, you're walking into the homeowner's house when they're dealing with a devastating loss. It's something that took place at their home that they weren't expecting. They didn't ask you to come. So I would always say, once you arrive on site, make sure that you are prompt, professional, okay? And do the initial walk with the owner. Very first thing, do initial walk with the owner. Let them walk you through the loss, explain it to you in their words. Even though you might understand exactly what's going on, allow them to talk and actively listen. The second thing would be ask for time to document. Ask for about 20 minutes because we know that the homeowners are always wondering what's next, when can you complete this, when can this get done? And obviously these are not emergency extraction situations. Okay, these are just initial inspections. So ask for about 20 minutes to be able to document. Then you want to capture all the affected and unaffected areas in the main level, anywhere you traveled throughout or where you may be carrying things. So step three would be do a DocuSketch or whichever type of documentation process you have for 360 documentation. Go ahead and go through that loss and DocuSketch the property. All right. And at that point, you can allow it to upload and then you walk back over to the homeowner. And at that point, they're going to have a few more questions for you, okay? Because you've given them about 20 minutes to sit there and you answer their questions and you set clear expectations on what the next steps are. Okay, and then before you walk out the door, you want to walk the lost site one more time and capture anything that you might have missed, any pre-existing damage, scratches on the floors, dents on the fridges, and just be able to overly document, right? Because the two photos we talked about it last time is you want the risk and you want the source, and you want to make sure those are captured and any other pertinent things that are going on. Flooring running underneath the cabinets, garbage disposals, if it's a kitchen area, if the cabinets have a lazy Susan, you want to be able to document these things. And so that would be my five-step routine.
What I would say too, that five-step process, you're building the trust with the consumer, right? Before you even started the work. And I think that's really important too, because while we know homeowners don't always understand the full capacity or scope of what we do in their home, it's their home, right? They want to
Yeah.
know who you are, what you're doing, how long you're going to take, when can they return to their normal routine, to your point. They have all of
Right.
these questions, but before you've ever laid that first piece of equipment, you've already started to build that trust and that open line of communication. So the five-step process is extremely crucial to set your job up for success and also customer satisfaction, right?
Right. Yeah, and you want to build that rapport and that trust right off the bat. The professionalism and the way that you handle yourself on site really sets the table for how the entire process is going to go, especially when payment comes to be collected. So you want them to trust that you understand what you're doing and that you are working for them and alongside them through this difficult time.
Well said. Well, that's it for this week's technical tip. We will be back next week and we'll be diving into some additional little tiny items that end up adding up to your bottom line. So we will see you next week. Take care.